In the bleak winter of 1886 in Berlin became the darkest winter of Rizal because he didn't receive money from Calamba. He experienced starvation, let his health down, and shivered with wintry cold. In order to survive, his sister's diamond ring gift to him was in the pawn shop.
However, it became memorable to him because first, it was painful episode for he was hungry, sick and despondent in Berlin, and second, it brought him so much enjoyment despite all of his sufferings because his second novel, Noli Tangere, came off the press in March 1887.
On January 2, 1884, during the reunion of Filipinos in the Paternus residence in Madrid, Dr. Jose Rizal proposed the writings of the novel. It was being approved by Pedro Maximo, Antonio Paterno, Graciano Lopez Haina, Evaristo Aguirre, Eduardo Dilete, Julio Lorente, Melicio Figueroa, and Valentin Ventura.
His eagerness to write the novel was inspired in the Uncle Tom's Cabin of Harriet Beecher Stowe that would depict the miseries of the Filipinos under the lash of Spanish tyrants. Toward the end of 1884, Rizal began writing one of his novels, which is Noli Tangere. Noli Tangere is a Latin phrase which means touch me not. Rizal believed that the Philippines was similarly afflicted. It was originally conceived by Rizal and he admitted that he took the title from the Bible. In March 5, 1887, through his letter to Felix Hidalgo, he included that the title of the novel came from a Bible verse.
To my dear friend Felix Hidalgo, the title of the novel Noli Tangere came from a Bible verse, St. Luke chapter 20, verses 13 to 17. It was dedicated to our beloved fatherland, Philippines.
Rizal made a mistake because it must be the Gospel of St. John chapter 20 verses 13 to 17. However, it was dedicated to his beloved fatherland, Philippines. The book itself and its content had a deep and remarkable meaning, but also the covers attracts the reader since the cover was originally designed by its author. Every pictures and images indicated in the cover was a sketch of symbol that had a representation of the bands in the Philippines brought by the Spaniards' colonization.
In 1885, Rizal went to Paris and continued writing the novel. However, in Germany, he wrote the last few chapters of the novel in Wilhelmsfeld in April until June year 1886.
The Noli Tangere are based on truths. It is a story of the Philippines' condition during the last decade of the Spanish rules. He put the experiences of the Filipino in the times of the Spanish colonization, and there is no doubt of printing the novel and let the readers know its background. During the winter days of February 1886 in Berlin, Rizal made the final revisions on the manuscripts of the Noli. In Berlin, the same place in which he made the final revision, Dr. Maximo Viola, Rizal's friend from Bulacan, arrived in Berlin at the height of Rizal's despondency and loaned him the needed funds to publish the novel. He was shocked to find Rizal in a dirty place. Rizal finally finished the novel and it was ready for printing. In Berliner Buchdruckerei Action Gesellschaft, he printed the copies of the novel and he paid 300 pesos for 2,000 copies. During the printing of the Noli, a very rare incident happens to Rizal.
Könnte ich bitte deinen Pass haben?
Ich habe im Moment keinen Reisepass, weil man bislang auch ohne Pass reisen konnte.
Ich werde dir mindestens 4 Tage Zeit geben, um deinen Pass vorzulegen und zu sichern. Sonst werde ich dich deportieren.
Mr. Viola, how can I help you?
I came here for just one reason. I am humbly asking for your help to resolve our matter.
So, may I know how could I help you about that matter?
My friend Jose Rizal gave a 4-day ultimatum by German police to secure and produce a passport. I believe that you were the one who could really help us.
It's a big proposition, but of course, I will do my best to settle that matter.
Ich bin in Ihr Büro gekommen, um mich zu entschuldigen, denn ich bekomme keinen Pass in der von Ihnen genannten Frist, um ihn vorzulegen. Kann ich Ihren Chef fragen, warum ich verhaftet werde, wenn ich keine Straftat begangen habe?
Ich habe einen Geheimdienstbericht erhalten, der besagt, dass Sie als französischer Spion verdächtigt wurden, weil Sie das Dorf und die Städte in ländlichen Gebieten häufig besucht haben. Ich habe gerade die Dörfer und Städte in ländlichen Gebieten besucht, weil ich nur die Bräuche und den Lebensstil ihrer Bewohner beobachten wollte. Ich bin kein französischer Spion, aber ich bin ein Filipino und Wissenschaftler.
I am impressed that you are very fluent in speaking German language. Aside from that, I am satisfied also with the reason that you are not a French spy and you are just visiting those villages and observe the lifestyle and customs. From now on, I will allow you to say freely here in Germany.
After printing the pages of Noli, Rizal and Viola were always at the printing shop proofreading the printed pages. On March 21, 1887, the Noli Me Tangere came off the press wherein Rizal immediately sent the first copies to Blumentritt, Dr. Antonio Regidor, Graciano Lopez Jaina, Mariano Ponce, and Felix R. Hidalgo.
I am sending you a book, my first book, Book on the Life of Tagalogs. Filipinos will find it in the history of the last 10 years.
1 week after the publication of Noli Me Tangere, Rizal gave Viola a galley proof of Noli.
Take this, my friend, for you are the first to read and appreciate my work.
Pleasure is mine, Jose.
To my dear friend, Maximo Viola, the first to read and appreciate my work.
Noli Me Tangere was a true story of the Philippine conditions during the last decades of Spanish rule. Many had influenced Rizal to create main characters that really captivate every reader. Noli Me Tangere characters was inspired by his environment and the people around him, wherein the Filipino and Spanish traits was clearly seen in every character that he made.
The characters of Noli Me Tangere.
Crisostomo Ibarra symbolizes Rizal, who studied in Europe and had dreamed of having his own school for the future of San Diego youth. Elias, the boatman and farmer who helped Crisostomo discover his town and its predicament, was also a portrayer of Jose Rizal. Maria Clara, modest girlfriend of Crisostomo and daughter of Donna Pia Alba and Padre Damaso, was Leonor Rivera in real life, though Leonor became unfaithful and married an Englishman. Don Anastasio, or Piloso Potasio. He was Rizal's older brother Pasiano, who was a philosopher and an old advisor of San Diego people. Padre Salvi, identified by Rizalists as Padre Antonio Fernaveja, the hated Agustinian friar in Cavite who was killed by the patriots during the Revolution. Padre Salve was known to have secret feelings towards Maria Clara. Kapitan Tiago, or Don Santiago de los Santos. He was a trader from Binondo and stepfather of Maria Clara was Captain Hilario of San Nicolas. Doña Victorina pretended to be a mestiza with rug face and wrong Spanish accent. She was Doña Agustina Medel. Basilio and Crispin, sons of Sisa. Acolyte and sexton in San Diego Church was Crisostomo brothers of Hagomoy. They symbolize the youth who work hard at a very young age to help their family, which can be observed until today. Padre Damaso, biological father of Maria Clara and former curate of the parish church of San Diego.